What's up YouTube? Welcome to the channel. My name is Fareed, and in today's video I want to talk to you guys about some recent updates that have just been released for the MELD protocol. If you've never heard of MELD before, they are a DeFi lending and borrowing platform launching on Cardano. They aim to simplify the process of not only lending and borrowing crypto to crypto assets, but also crypto to fiat. If you're interested in finding out more about how the MELD protocol works, I'll leave the link to their official website down in the description below. In today's video, I want to first talk about a recent interview that Ken Olling had, who is the CEO of MELD, with Digital Asset News. I also want to talk about a recent update that was just released surrounding the MELD Akamon bridge. And then once we wrap that up, I want to pivot and quickly talk about some additional news that was just released surrounding the MELD Golden Bank Managers. And then at the very end of this video, I want to talk about some recent wallet support that has just been announced surrounding the MELD app. Before we jump into today's content, I want to give you guys a quick reminder that I have an entire playlist dedicated to the MELD protocol. And so if this type of content interests you, make sure to check that out. The first thing we're going to talk about in today's video is going to be Ken's recent interview with Digital Asset News. If you've never heard of Digital Asset News before, they're one of the most influential YouTube channels when it comes to the cryptocurrency space. If you don't already follow the Digital Asset News YouTube channel, I'll leave a link to their channel down in the description below, and I highly recommend that you follow them to stay updated when it comes to cryptocurrency news. When it comes to Ken's recent interview on the Digital Asset News platform, we saw him discuss two main points. The first was MELD's development when it comes to the MELD Akamon bridge, which is a bridge that's going to allow for liquidity to come into the Cardano ecosystem from the Polygon network. Following that, Ken also discussed the security surrounding the MELD Akamon bridge, given the recent hack that we just saw occur on the Nomad platform. If you're not familiar with the Nomad bridge hack, this was a hack that recently occurred in which we saw about $200 million worth of liquidity exit the cross-chain bridge. During Ken's interview, he reassured the MELD community that the MELD team is currently investigating additional security features or measures that they can take in place of all the recent hacks. One of the security measures that the MELD team plans on implementing with the Akamon bridge is the use of a pause button or kill switch. This will allow for the MELD team to pause all transactions occurring on the MELD Akamon bridge in order to further investigate them. I highly recommend that you watch the entire interview, as it's going to give you a much better idea as to what MELD is doing in the current bear market. Next, I want to talk about a technical report that was just released surrounding the MELD Akamon bridge. Before I jump into the report, I did want to give you guys a quick reminder to follow MELD on Medium if you're not already doing so. This will help you to stay up to date when it comes to all of the technical news surrounding the MELD protocol. If you've never heard of the MELD Akamon bridge, as I mentioned before, this is going to be a bridge that's going to allow for liquidity to come in from the Polygon or the Matic network directly into the Cardano ecosystem. The Akamon bridge is being deployed in two separate versions. We've already seen the Akamon Alpha get deployed onto the Cardano testnet. The testing for that has already concluded, and we're now waiting to get started on the Akamon Beta. As the recently released article states, the Cardano contracts for the MELD Akamon Beta were initially designed to work in the Alonzo era, since we were uncertain when the Vassal hard fork or the Babbage era was going to happen. With the MELD Akamon Beta still in its early stages, we realized that this is an excellent opportunity to push all of the optimizations and improvements that are only made available by the hard fork. We want the community to experience the latest Cardano enhancements and know what to be expected when the Vassal hard fork launches on the mainnet later this year. The article also highlights two types of updates that the MELD team is currently working on implementing when it comes to the MELD Akamon bridge. The first kind of update is called a passive update. These types of updates are not going to require any direct updates to the Dapp in order for MELD to be able to take advantage of them. The second type of update is going to be called an active update. Now, these, on the other hand, will require the MELD team to make an update to the Dapp directly in order for them to benefit from this type of change. Some of the active updates that the MELD team is currently working on include SIP31, which are reference inputs, SIP32, which are inline datums, SIP33, which are reference scripts, and SIP40, which refer to collateral output. On top of that, the technical article goes into additional detail surrounding tools and libraries, scripts and deployments, inline datums, other optimizations, and MELD's Oracle solution. In the interest of time, I'm not going to be able to highlight all of the different sections mentioned in the latest article. However, if you're interested in reading it in its entirety, which I highly recommend that you do so, I've made sure to leave a link down in the description below to the full article. Next, I want to highlight some new information that was just released surrounding MELD's Golden Bank Managers. If you've never heard of the MELD Bank Manager NFT, this is going to be a new NFT collection being released by the MELD team that's going to provide additional utility to the MELD protocol. These NFTs have yet to be released. However, there's going to be a total of about 40,000 NFTs that are going to be eligible for minting. And in order to become eligible to mint one of these NFTs, you would have had to delegate for at least one epoch during the MELD ISPO. Now, don't worry, if you missed that opportunity to delegate during their ISPO, you will be able to purchase these Bank Manager NFTs on secondary marketplaces. Now, I do want to be clear here that the MELD team is planning on releasing two types of Bank Manager NFTs. The traditional Bank Manager NFT is going to be the one that I just mentioned, which will require for you to have delegated for at least one epoch during the MELD ISPO. Now, the new information that I wanted to highlight is going to be surrounding the Golden Bank Managers. These are going to differ slightly from the traditional bank managers in the sense that they're going to be a lot more rare. The key difference between the Golden Bank Manager and the regular Bank Manager is that holders of the Golden Bank Manager will receive a full 1% when it comes to loan interest rate reduction. With that said, we had a recent announcement on the latest MELD with Us Twitter space. And so if you're not already attending these MELD with Us Twitter space, these are going to be weekly Twitter spaces held on Twitter in which we have Matt and Victor, who are part of the MELD community managers, talk about the MELD protocol. In the latest Twitter space, Matt confirmed that at least 2 of the 10 Golden Bank Managers will be distributed to members in the MELD Discord. He also confirmed that they'll be using the ranks within the MELD Discord in order to provide more active members a higher probability of winning one of the Golden Bank Managers. With that said, if you're not already a member of the MELD Discord, I highly recommend that you join, not only to be eligible to win the Golden Bank Managers, but in order to just have more information about the MELD protocol. And if you ever have any questions, this is probably one of the fastest ways to get them answered. The last update I want to talk about is going to be a new wallet that's officially been supported on the mainnet version of the MELD app. After a lot of community demand, we can now see that the Eternal wallet is officially now supported on the MELD app. With this latest announcement, we've now seen a total of 3 different wallets supported on the MELD app. The first wallet is the Nami wallet, which is probably the most commonly used wallet within the Cardano ecosystem. We now also have the Eternal wallet, which I just mentioned is now supported on the MELD app. And then the last wallet is going to be the MetaMask wallet. If you're wondering why the MELD app supports the MetaMask wallet, which that's traditionally an Ethereum-based wallet, that's going to be to allow for interaction between the Polygon network and the Cardano network when using the Akamon bridge. One last item that I want to highlight before I wrap up today's video is going to be surrounding the staking feature on the MELD app. When the MELD app initially launched in early February, they had 2 options when it comes to staking. The first option was a 12-month stake, in which stakers would receive a total of 15% interest on all of the MELD that they staked. The second option was a 6-month stake, in which stakers would receive a total of 12% interest on all of the MELD that they've staked. In the recent week, we started to see some of the 6-month staking periods come to a close. If you staked in the 6-month pool and your stake has officially ended, you're now eligible to reclaim all of your originally staked tokens, as well as the interest that you've earned over the last 6 months. On top of that, you're also going to be able to restake your tokens between now and the end of August. That's going to wrap it up for today's video on recent updates that we've seen for the MELD protocol. If you found some of the information covered in today's video to be helpful, then please make sure to tap that like button. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them down below. I'll see you guys in the next video.